Okay.
I added quite a few more to my list.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
Really realizing that there's a lot of stuff that, like, scarred me as a child.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
a lot of things that I buried deep. Like, looked up kids' movies, and I was like, oh, that was freaky. Stuff that I don't even remember.
Nice.
Alright.
Okay. Welcome back to the Mystic Frightcast. I'm your host, Zane Young.
And I'm McKenna.
And this is our podcast about scary movies and other stories. What is it?
I don't know.
I don't know. Horror movies and other scary stories.
There you go.
This week, we're going to be talking about the 2014 movie, The Babadook.
Because it's Pride Month, baby.
Yeah, and the Babadook has become a symbol of
He's a gay icon,
He's a gay icon. And we have the limited release Shout Factory Pride Flag Babadook disc.
Yes.
He's
the gay icon we all deserve.
Yeah. I was reading a little bit about because people have made, like, kind of tongue-in-cheek analysis of that movie. To, like, make it seem like it actually is about, like, gay pride.
Oh, I love that.
And they've narrowed it down to his elaborate costume.
Yes.
And the fact, and his role as a disruptor of a typical family.
I love that.
Yeah. It's pretty good. And also the director.
Okay, listen, but, like, here's the thing.
Yeah.
A monster like that would not have nails like that if he were not gay.
It's true.
Those are the gayest nails I've ever seen in my life. They're like
pretty gay.
Foot long. He looks like a drag queen.
He also wears a top hat.
He does wear a top hat.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The director has also come out in support of the meme. She was like, this is great.
I love it. It's the greatest thing that has ever happened to us.
Good. Yeah. Okay. So how are you?
Well, my body is disintegrating, but it's okay. I'm good.
That's good.
Not in a lot of pain at all.
Nice.
No, I'm good. I'm tired. I had a really long week at work. And how about you? How are you?
I'm good.
Your birthday week has ceased.
Yep. I have a haircut, though.
Yes.
I got a haircut.
Anything new and exciting?
I don't think so. I don't remember seeing anything that was like, oh. The new Chucky movie came out.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll probably review that next weekend.
Probably.
And then the new Annabelle movie comes out next weekend, so we'll probably review that
The following.
the following. And then it's Midsummer, and then that's pretty much it after that for horror movies until It comes out.
All right.
Yeah. There was something else, but I don't really remember what it was. I don't know. You know, if you guys get your news from us, then you clearly don't care that much about the news.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's just get to the shit, man.
Okay, sure.
So in honor of the Babadook this week, we're going to be talking about things that horrified us as children.
Woohoo! Reliving trauma.
Yes. Scary books and movies and such.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to, like, switch off?
Yeah, let's switch off.
Okay.
You want to go first or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. First thing, I don't know, I have a whole list here. I want to see what order I want to go in. Poltergeist. I watched that when I was a kid. That was my first horror movie. Real creepy. When you're like 10 or 11 or 12, however old I was.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like, it was like the whole scene of them going into, like, the other dimension thing.
Yeah.
I was not here for. I didn't like things like that. I didn't like things where they went into other dimensions or worlds and everything was, like, weird and distorted.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Huh.
Real freaked me out.
Huh. I never watched it when I was a kid.
Yeah,
So,
you watched it for the first time
Yeah.
when we did the episode on it. Yeah. No, it was spooky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you remember having, like, nightmares associated with it?
Listen, I had a lot of nightmares as a kid, and so it's hard to say what caused them. I had just a lot of recurring nightmares that weren't really related to anything. But I don't necessarily remember having nightmares for Poltergeist.
That's specifically about Poltergeist.
Yeah, but I do remember, like, having a hard time falling asleep.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember when I was really young and me and my mom were going to go to like California on a vacation together. Mm-hmm. And I had this nightmare where I was in California and then this like booming voice just told me I was going to die.
Oh my god.
And I've never forgot that dream.
Wow.
I was just like it was like sunset and there were palm trees and I was like on a beach and then this voice was just like, you're gonna die.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I had a recurring nightmare of my grandparents' house being set on fire.
Huh.
And my entire family dying.
Nice.
So that's fun.
Was it you who set the fire, McKenna?
No, I would never do that.
That we know about.
All right.
The first one on my list, I'm just going to go there's in no particular order, is specifically the troll from Harry Potter.
I put Harry Potter too!
And mostly that scene was the one that I couldn't hack.
I didn't like the spiders.
The spiders didn't bug me as much.
No, thank you.
It was that scene it was in the first one. Mm-hmm. And they're in the bathroom and there's the troll.
Yep.
And I had to go like hide under the table.
Oh,
and like
no.
watch it from under the table because I couldn't do it.
I couldn't watch the spider part. I literally had to close my eyes.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Or make my dad skip it.
The classic.
Skip forward.
You guys have to skip this.
Listen, Harry Potter is great, but it is quite traumatizing for a child. There's like some scary stuff in there.
It's good.
I feel like it hits on a lot of different fears. Like there's spiders, there are snakes, there are trolls, there are dragons. Like,
yeah,
it really hits on a lot of specific phobias.
I'm glad that I was older by the time like the 3 came out.
Yes.
Because I don't think I could have handled that one if I was like a kid.
No.
A little kid.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Harry Potter formed our generation, but also scarred our generation. The Princess Bride.
Which one do you have? Was it The Machine?
Yep.
I have that one on my list too.
Oh, God.
Yeah. That was one that I made.
The life-sucking machine.
Yeah.
That gave me nightmares.
Yeah.
That for sure gave me nightmares. That was the fucking scariest thing I've ever experienced in my childhood life.
That was one that I made my parents skip. I wouldn't watch it.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
At all. Like, even the rodents.
ROUSs?
ROUSs, yep.
Mm-hmm.
I had to figure out what order the letters went in.
Yeah.
Even that, like, didn't bother me.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people say the ROUSs was the scariest part of that movie. No, the life-sucking machine
yeah.
is horrifying.
Yeah.
The worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
And they're like, Princess Bride is a family film. It's a family film. If you want to traumatize your children.
But, gotcha.
Listen, that was the first thing when you were like, let's talk about things that scared us as a children. I was like, The Princess Bride.
Yeah. Yeah, I also have that on my list.
Fun.
So, there was this movie made a long, long time ago called The Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price. And it was like an adaptation of the book I Am Legend, which got turned into the Will Smith movie.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't specifically the movie that horrified me. It was literally just my dad described the movie to me, and then I couldn't sleep.
Oh, no.
I know. And it's just a dumb, like, apocalypse movie.
Yeah.
There's nothing, like, particularly frightening about it. But for whatever reason, I remember being in the car with my dad, and he was just telling me about this old, dumb movie. and I just couldn't do it.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was very susceptible to the storytelling from a young age, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the like everyone is dead part or the zombie part that freaked me out.
Maybe a combo.
Probably a combination.
Yeah.
I also remember my dad told me this story about like a rabid squirrel as a joke. And it like traumatized me. So for like years after that, I'd be like really paranoid walking under trees because I thought there was a rabid squirrel like waiting for me in the tree.
Oh no! That's so sad.
I've forgotten about that. It's pretty funny though.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. Squirrel.
I'm afraid of squirrels.
Yeah. My dad thought it was pretty funny too.
I'm sure your dad thought that was funny.
I would find it funny if I told that to my kid.
I had scary stories to tell in the dark, just in general.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's a staple for us late 90s, early 2000s children.
I don't know if that actually scared me that much. I thought it was cool. I liked it.
Yeah.
But I don't remember actually being scared of it when I was reading it.
We used to read them like in the middle of the night at sleepovers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what scared me about it, was just the nature of the reading.
Right. Right.
The stories I don't think really freaked me out that much, but it was more like the environment surrounding it.
Yeah.
Because we would read it at sleepovers in the middle of the night and everyone was like trying to scare each other.
Yeah.
So it was more like the memory and the environment surrounding those.
Right.
More than the actual thing. And the movie's coming out soon. That looks super cool.
I'm excited for the movie. We should just go over the book before we for that episode.
Oh my god, I'd love to read
that'd be a lot of fun.
There's like 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the ones that stick out to me the most are there's the spider in the face one, and there isn't the hook hand guy in that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those are the two that really I remember.
Yeah. Those are fun. Those were always like a hit.
Yeah.
I remember when the book fair used to come to elementary school. And everyone was getting scary stories to tell in the dark.
I was getting Star Wars novelizations, not scary stories to tell.
I was getting scary stories and Magic Treehouse books and like the Narnia and Bridge to Terabithia books.
I never read Bridge to Terabithia, and I was never that into Narnia. I read a lot of Star Wars books, and I did read all of the Magic Treehouse books.
Literally loved those books.
They were great.
The best one was the dinosaur one. That was my favorite.
I don't know if I got to that point. I might have phased out of Magic Treehouse before they got to the dinosaur one.
Oh, I read all of them.
I think I probably read through the 20s maybe, because there were 50 of them.
Yeah.
And then I think I aged out of it.
I kind of hopped around. Mm-hmm. So I picked ones that sounded interesting to me instead of going in order. So I really liked the dinosaur one, and I liked the dolphin one.
Another one that I think was past my time.
And the one where they went to Egypt. Those are the
I think I read the one where they went to Egypt.
Yeah, those were the 3.
Yeah.
And then there was one where they went to the Amazon or a jungle or something, and that was cool too.
I remember the one where they went to Pompeii.
Oh, yeah.
I liked that one.
That's
that
a good one,
pretty
too.
Cool. I think I started reading them about when they had published maybe 5 or 6. Mm-hmm. And then I continued reading them through, I don't know.
Those are the best kids books.
They're really good. Yeah. Did you ever read the Time Warp Trio books?
No, but I know about them.
Those ones are great, too.
I didn't read those.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting off topic. You just did
I did scary stories.
Okay. So I have 2 that kind of go together because it wasn't from watching the movies that I got so terrified, but it was my aunt took me to the EMP, and they had a sci-fi room, and I remember being just generally really terrified by the entire room, but specifically they had like aliens in the Matrix exhibits there. And so they had, like, the egg, the big egg from Aliens, and then just a constant loop of Ripley fighting the queen alien in the mech suit. Mm-hmm. And I was, like, pre-10, for sure. And I was just, like, staring at this loop of, like, one of the best sci-fi horror movies of all time. Transfixed, and just completely, like...
horrified.
Yeah. And then... they had this really cool room, this, like, Matrix room, that was, like, a 360 screen. And it was just kind of a loop of, like, the future world from the Matrix with the weird, like, robot squid things floating around. And that really freaked me out, too.
Yeah.
I was very, very frightened of the robot squids.
Also, for people who don't know, the EMP is, like, it's now called the Mopop.
Yeah.
It's a museum in Seattle that's, like, dedicated to popular culture.
Yeah.
So movies and music and...
it used to be just music,
Yeah,
and then they started adding more exhibits, and they renamed it the Mopop.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
I didn't, I still haven't seen Alien. But I watched Matrix when I was maybe, like, 15, 16. And didn't have much of a reaction to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's great. It's a great movie.
I probably need to rewatch it. I don't remember, like, 90% of what happened.
There's just so much kung fu. That's great.
Okay. 9.
Oh, I never saw that movie.
It's freaky.
Is that a stop motion or is that just a regular animation?
Regular animation.
Okay.
For 9, yeah. Tim Burton movie came out in 2009. Get it? 9
Connection.
Came out in 2009. But, yeah, it's creepy because they're like potato sacks. Like, the creatures look like potato sacks, and they're just kind of like waddling around, and they have just a weird texture, and like they're just creepy. And like the whole premise of the movie is it's like post-apocalyptic, like, world, and it's like these creatures are trying to survive this monster, whatever.
Right.
But it's just, most of it, honestly, is just the way that they look. It's just so unnerving.
Huh. I don't even remember that movie coming out. Like, I know of it now.
Yeah.
But I never remember, like, I was completely
I think I saw it in
unaware.
theaters.
Really?
Yeah. I was a big Tim Burton fan when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, all those movies, Princess Bride, Corpse Bride, Nightmare Before Christmas, 9, all those movies. The only one I never saw was Paranorman. That's Tim Burton, right?
It might be.
I'm pretty sure it is. But that also came out a little bit later.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't really a kid that much anymore. But, yeah, I watched all those. I was obsessed with all of those movies. But 9 was, I think, the creepiest for me. A lot of people think Nightmare Before Christmas is creepy. But I didn't find it that creepy as a kid.
I just watched that for the first time last year.
I know!
Yeah.
It's so cute.
I liked it.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Jurassic Park.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be on my list,
That
too.
whole movie, when you're a kid, is just 2 hours of sustained terror.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the creepiest part is when the guy gets eaten off the toilet. I think it's hilarious now, but as a child, that's so scary.
That was pretty frightening. So was the the Dilophosaurus
Yep.
when it spat poison in Newman's face.
Yes.
That reminds me that I had a toilet phobia when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, I used to have to, like, I would, like, do my business, and then I'd wash my hands, and then I'd, like, flush the toilet, and then really quick, like, jet out of the room, because I thought there was something in the toilet that once I flushed it, it would, like, come out and get me. So I had to get out of there before it came up.
I think that's really funny.
That one really, like stuck with me, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember, because I think even after I, like, stopped having that phobia, I would still, like, go to the bathroom in that order. And I remember getting to a point where I was like, I should, like, do this the normal way now. I remember making a conscious decision to be like, I need to fit in.
Oh, poor Zane. Poor little Zane. I've got The Wizard of Oz.
I still haven't seen The Wizard of Oz.
I can't believe that. Yeah, Wizard of Oz was spooky. The flying monkeys are the worst thing.
That's what everyone says. Yeah, everyone has been traumatized by the flying monkeys.
I know.
The Wizard of Oz.
I was like, that's what I had to include it because, like, those things were so creepy. Just, it's like the fact that, like, the sky is, like, filled with them.
Yeah.
Like, when they're flying, it's not just a few, it's, like, hundreds, and the sky goes, like, dark, and all you can see are these awful creatures. It's so creepy.
Yeah, I've never seen Wizard of Oz.
I know. We need to watch that.
Yeah, I definitely would like to. I don't know.
It's good.
Yeah. I don't know why that's... I've never been, like, that interested in it. I didn't like the book that much. I saw the James Franco movie, and I was like, I don't like this. And I know that I will see The Wizard of Oz at some point, but it's just... It's low on the old list. There are a lot of other old movies that I would rather watch than The Wizard of Oz.
That's fair. You had a very different childhood than most other people. You didn't watch a lot of kids' movies when you were a kid. Yeah, that's true. I watched some. I watched a lot of the Pixar movies. Yeah.
But that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
And I think that I moved on to watching other movies pretty quickly too. I don't think my kids' movie period was that long.
Yeah. I still watch kids' movies.
I watch them every now and then. They're fun.
I just watched the second Wreck-It Ralph. It was cute.
I haven't seen the first Wreck-It Ralph.
They're both cute. I like them.
See, I also didn't play video games when I was a kid. So it's like two things that I just have zero connection to.
Yeah, that's fair. I played computer games.
I played a couple. I played Lego games and I played baseball games. And that's pretty much it. And I still play Lego games.
Yeah, I played all the computer games. Oh my god, what was the name of that one site? I don't know, there's this one site, and it was like, it had all the games, and you would just go there, and oh my gosh, I bet I have it.
We should.
Antcon. Antcon.com. There are like a million games on there, and they are the best.
So there was this British show, it was a series of kind of mini-series called Peter Whimsy, and they were like mystery detective shows, and there was this one run of it where I think it was the first one. It was made in the 70s. I was probably watching these when I was like 10-ish, which says a lot. That's what I was watching.
I
it was
know.
PBS mysteries. But there was this one series of it that was in the English countryside, and there was this one character who was the villain, who was this abusive husband.
Oh.
And he had a really large mustache.
Gross.
That was really frazzly and stuck out everywhere.
Ew.
And towards the end of the series, when it's like revealed that he's like the main villain of the show, and he's like following people to London to kill them.
Ugh.
That, like, I had nightmares about that guy.
Gross.
It was really creepy. Clouds
porn
of
stash.
Witness. It was not a porn stash. It was like way bushier than a porn stash.
Ew, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, it was creepy, man. I was okay when he was just living out in like the bog.
Yeah.
But then it was once he like headed to London, and I was like, ah! He can get at you anywhere.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah.
Kind of on that note, I have Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Never watched it.
Oh, there's a character called the Child Catcher, and he's got a mustache too. Mm-hmm. He just like runs around, and he has like a cage with children in it, and he just goes around and tries to kidnap and catch them and keep them in a cage. It's horrifying, and this is like a children's movie.
Yeah, weird.
He's got like a buggy, and like in the back there's like a trailer that he's pulling, and it's just a cage filled with children, and he goes around and he has a net, and he's like trying to catch children, and he's got a creepy mustache. No siree.
Yeah.
Ugh. Why do they always have to have these awful... I don't know.
I don't know. You want to traumatize kids just enough.
I know, right?
The last one that I have on here, although I can probably like come up with a few more, is Insidious, which I didn't even watch when I was a kid. It was probably when I was like a teen. And in my early teens. But I just remember being like horrified by it. But I also like, once they go into the other realm, I really like didn't like it. I was like, this is a bad movie, but I was still like horrified,
freaked out,
and it was probably the most unpleasant experience I've ever had watching a movie in my life.
That's why you don't like it.
It probably is, because I was really scared, like really scared, but I also was aware that I thought it was bad.
Yeah.
And it was like the worst, but I felt obligated to finish it because I'd started it and I'd like rented it, so I had paid for it.
Yeah,
and I was in my early teens, and I was like, I don't have much money, so I spent it on this movie, and I was like, I have to finish it, but I don't like it, and I'm about to shit my pants, and just it culminated in a horrible experience.
Remember when you would go to the Blockbuster or whatever Redbox? And you would have to spend your money on like $5 on renting one movie for one night. What a time!
I didn't ever went to the Blockbuster by myself. My parents would always go to the Blockbuster, and I remember going. Yeah, but I didn't have any money at that point to get anything.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have money when we went to Blockbuster, but sometimes my parents would like give me money, and then we would go Blockbuster. Yeah, but like, what a time! What a concept. It was
fun. It was nice.
I love there's still that that rental place by our old apartment that we would go and rent movies at.
Yeah. There's one in Seattle called Scarecrow Video, which is very, very famous. Yeah. Like nationwide for being one of the last like really big video rental places.
I love it. Yeah. It feels so, like, vintage, even though it, like, is not. Yeah. Well, but it's, like,
we all have
progressed so much since then. And we all grew up going to the Blockbuster.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was a much more enjoyable experience to, like, go to a store that was, like, it was like a Netflix store.
It was, yeah.
That's a lot more fun than just sitting on your ass in bed and, like,
flipping through
8 million options.
I know.
And it takes you longer to pick something. Yep. Than actually watching anything would be. Yeah,
absolutely. It was so fun because like on special occasions, like my dad would let me pick a movie and my brother pick a movie. Yeah, and so we'd each get like to pick one, and we would like walk around, and like if we were really good, we got to pick a new arrival. That was always like the treat, like something that just came out, right? Because they're so much more expensive to rent. Yeah. It was good fun. Times.
Yeah. I remember when our local Blockbuster closed down. That was sad.
I know, I do too.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many more do you have?
I have 3 more.
Okay, let's just blast through them.
Blast them.
Yeah.
I've got E.T.
E.T. scared you?
Abso-fucking-lutely. Huh. I don't think I've seen it from start to finish.
Oh, really?
As a kid, I couldn't make it through.
We have it. You should watch
know.
it. We have it on 4K, baby.
Yeah, I couldn't finish it as a child, and it freaked me out. Not a fan of aliens.
I like aliens.
I do not. I've got Anastasia, which is one of my absolute favorite
What scared
kids
you
movie.
about that?
Rasputin?
I've already forgotten who Rasputin is.
Rasputin is like an actual dude.
Yeah. I mean, I know who Rasputin is, but I don't remember who he was in the movie.
Well, he murdered her entire family, and he sold his soul to the devil, basically. And he lived in, like, this limbo place, and he had, like, his body was falling apart, and, like, his head would fall off, and, like...
Okay.
He had, like, all these creepy, like, bug dudes, and, like, the creepy... Not Bartok the bat, but they were like these creepy like ghost bat things.
Yeah.
That would fly around. Ghost bats.
Yeah.
And he was creepy. He had like this weird like he was like magical. And he would like make things come to life, and he made like this giant like stone horse come to life and attack her or something.
I don't remember much about that movie.
It's all ingrained very much into my brain. Because Anastasia was my favorite movie.
Yeah. It still is one of your favorites.
It still is one of my favorite movies. But Rasputin was a fucking creepy. And still is. I still find him scary. I still find him very scary.
Yeah, that's when you know that it's done a number on you.
It has.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I also have, last one, Fantasia.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't watch Fantasia. I wouldn't. I watched like 10 minutes of it, and I was like, I'm not going to finish this.
Yeah.
There's no way, Mom.
There's... Satan literally makes an appearance, and he summons his demons. So that's really fun. But there's also that one with, like, the dinosaurs that's really scary, and they're, like, fighting each other.
Yeah.
And there's, like, the lava monster one. And I always thought the one, I think this one's in Fantasia 2000, but the one where they, like, are, like, trying to kill the whale. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
There's like, this whale, and they have, like, those, what are they called?
There's a word, but like the spears that you use to kill whales.
Yeah.
Harpoons,
yes.
Yeah.
I was like, Splatoon? Something tune.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the harpoons. They had like a bajillion harpoons, and they're trying to kill this whale. And I like cried every time. I thought it was so scary and sad, and I hated it. I always made my dad skip that one because I couldn't do it.
Huh. Yeah, I just never watched. I watched a couple minutes of it. And I think I would watch the first couple minutes like multiple times, but I was like, there's a point that I'm just not going to watch past.
I really liked Fantasia and Fantasia 2000, and I liked to watch them a lot.
Yeah.
But, like, they were creepy.
Yeah.
Like, that was spooky.
I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I watched when I was a kid. I mean, there are a lot of, like, horror movies that I watched in high school that were scary. Uh-huh. But I don't really remember, much before that traumatizing me.
Yeah.
In the way that these things have.
Yeah. Like, I watched The Others shortly after I watched Poltergeist when I was a kid. And I thought that was really creepy.
Yeah, that was a long time ago that you watched that. Mm-hmm. I feel like that, I mean, would obviously be scary, but I feel like that also would probably just go completely over your head. Yeah. As a kid. Because it's a very, like, adult movie. Not really in terms of content, but just in, like, theme and style. Yeah. It's very slow-paced.
Yeah, I thought it was scary.
Yeah, I think that's it for me. You want to talk about the Babadook?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
Babadook.
Dook. So I know you like it a lot.
I do. I think it's a really genius movie.
I don't know. This is only the second time I've seen it.
Yeah.
First time I saw it, didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And this time, I like it a little bit more, but not that much.
I think that this is the third or fourth time I've seen it, and I like it more each time I watch it. The first time I was like, this is really good, and then I kept watching it, and I was like, this is very, very good.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I understand the appeal to it. Like,
Yeah.
I understand why you like it, because, like, you know, the metaphor and, like, I understand all of that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's for me.
What about it don't you like?
I don't know. I just don't find it very engaging.
Huh.
Like I don't feel particularly like invested in any of the characters. Really.
Really quick, the plot of the Babadook.
Oh, yep.
There is a woman is widowed. She gets in a car accident when she's pregnant with her son that kills the father. Cut to 7 years later, and she's completely emotionally like closed off and just doesn't really like engage with her son at all. Mm-hmm. And her son's just this kind of like completely unsupervised like nightmare child.
Yeah.
And then one night they find a book called Mr. Babadook that they read, and it summons the titular Babadook, which breaks her down emotionally and then possesses her, and she kills their dog, and she tries to kill their son, and then she is able to conquer it, and then they keep it locked up in their basement. Yep. Great movie. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, I get it. Like, I understand.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, it doesn't, I haven't felt invested or engaged in, like, any of the characters or the plot or anything like that either time I saw the movie.
I mean, I can't, like, there's no argument for that.
I know.
That's just, like, how it struck you. I just completely disagree. I think that it's, first and foremost, it's a drama.
Yeah.
The fact that it's a horror movie is very much, like, you know, like, it's basically just the setting for the movie. Like, it's not, I wouldn't, like, show this to people as a horror movie. I would show this to people as a character study that is in a horror genre. Like, it has that setting. I think this has a lot of, like, crossover appeal.
Yeah.
But I think that it's, like, I honestly think it is one of the best movies of the past decade.
Wow.
I think it's stunning. And the way that it's done is just, like, stunning to me. And I was really noticing it with the sound mixing and how quiet the voices were and how loud everything else was.
Yeah.
And I was like, at first I was like, I wonder if that's just, I wasn't sure if that was, like, intentional or if that was just how it was, like, coming through the speakers. But pretty quickly, I think it became clear that it was intentional. And just the way that everything works to, like, put you in the emotional state of the mom, and to make you, like, hate the kid, and to make you just feel that, like, numbness that she feels.
Yeah.
And just it's such an oppressive movie. Like, right from the get-go. It's so, like, their house is so drab and unpleasant and, like, crushing. And it's so good. I think it's a kind of an unpleasant movie to watch.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably part of why people, because I'm aware that there are a lot of people who really don't like it. But yeah, no, I think it's incredible. Yeah. And I love the fact that it's, there's no one in it that I know, like, it, because it just feels so real. I think it's a movie about, at least for me, like, obviously the grief aspect and how to handle grief is kind of the main, like, or one of the main things in it.
Yeah.
But I think for me, what it's about most is just, like, how easy it is to hate the people that you love. That's really what I picked up from it this time.
Yeah.
And how just, like, really boring things and things that shouldn't like bother you or mean anything to you just like build up into this like a kind of resentment and hatred that I don't think you can have towards people that you don't know or love.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's between a mother and a son, I think makes it much more uncomfortable to watch. Mm-hmm. And that's a subject that I think we really are very uncomfortable with. Is this? But in reality, I think that all parents at some point hate their kids, and all kids at some point hate their parents.
Yeah. Well, because like the idea is like as parents and as children, but specifically as parents, you're supposed to have unconditional love for your children.
Yeah.
But it's not always the case. Like,
yeah.
Like, obviously, like, I think a parent will always love their child, but it might not be unconditional.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think that, like, the expectation of kind of giving up yourself as a person to care for a child is so unrealistic and not, like, healthy.
Yeah.
And I think we especially put that on mothers. You're not really supposed to have an identity. You're just supposed to be a mom. And yeah, I don't know. You just like she's so dehumanized. She's just so like not present and alive. She just feels like this.
She feels like a shell. Like she doesn't feel real.
Yeah. And then I like there's so much stuff in there that is like you kind of see the kind of person she is. There's because she's in a position of like caregiving in like every dynamic that she has.
Yeah,
like it's with her son, and then she works in a nursing home, and then she's kind of taking care of her neighbor, and then her sister just doesn't really like care. It's so good, and I think that it like really builds to that one moment. When she's like starting to get possessed, when her kid is telling her that he's hungry, and she's like, "Why don't you just eat shit?" Like that is like the climax of the movie.
Yeah,
and then it like launches into the horror part of it. But I don't know, man. It's so good. It's such a brutal exploration of like how people feel about each other, and I think it's very complex, and it really like nails the complexity of how we can like kind of be the way that we are to the people in our lives. I think it's a really like bold, incredible movie.
See, I understand all of that, and like I get it, and I see it all. But when I'm watching the movie, I don't feel it. Like retrospectively, like both times I've seen it, I can understand that it's a good movie and why it's a good movie. But both times while I was watching it, I didn't like feel like invested. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Like it just like something about the physical watching of the movie. And it might be because it's so uncomfortable to watch, but I don't think that's the case because like I've seen plenty of movies that are very uncomfortable to watch, but I've still enjoyed watching. Or maybe not enjoyed, but you know, like
I get
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And there's something about like the actual watching of this movie that I have like a hard time engaging with.
I wonder if that's like, and not to give the movie too much credit because obviously it's totally fine if you just don't like the movie.
Yeah.
But I do kind of wonder if it's like. If it's almost just an automatic response for your like brain or your body to just kind of like not engage with it.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a very overwhelming movie to watch because everything's so like the sounds are so loud and the visuals are so kind of like I think it's a beautifully shot movie, but they're very like unpleasant visuals because the color scheme is so like gray and it's in a very like harsh way too. It really like kind of grates on you, and I think that the movie kind of through its style puts you in the mindset of the mother just by how, like, it does I think the movie kind of breaks you down as a viewer. And I think that maybe your brain either kind of just, like engages with that and, like, holds on to that and wants that experience, or it doesn't and just kind of shuts off.
Yeah.
Not to, like, give the movie too much credit, because you might just not like it.
Yeah.
Which, again, is totally fine. But I wonder if that is possible. Because I think it's a very visceral movie that I can easily see not being pleasant for some people to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that the color scheme might have something to do with it, because it is kind of, it's almost, like, I understand the intent behind it, but it's almost, like, boring to watch, because it's all gray.
Yeah.
So it's not very visually interesting in that sense. Like, I think the shots and the camera work and all that is really good, but, like, and I know that it was done purposefully.
Yeah.
But I wonder if, like, that, because I wonder if that kind of impacts how people, like, receive the information. Because at least for me, like, I'm a very visual person, and, like, colors and that kind of stuff is really important to me, and I have kind of the same thing when I watch a black and white movie. Like, I can't always, like, connect with it as much, and I can recognize that it's a good movie, but I have a hard time, like, getting more, like, invested with it. And I wonder if, like, the super gray tone scale of this movie had something to do with that as well.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a very unique movie.
I think it is. And I think, you know, when you have something that's unique and as artistic as this movie is, like, you're gonna have super mixed, like, you either love it or hate it kind of thing.
It's also kind of, like, impressionistic, too. There's a lot of visuals in it that are very, like, heightened and are clearly, like, they're, like, visuals. It's not, like, meant to be reality, but it's just kind of meant to evoke this, like, feeling.
Yeah.
I also think it's very frightening, too. But I think it's more because of the kind of mindset that it puts you in.
Yeah.
And then it becomes frightening once you're kind of looking at the movie through, like, her lens.
Yeah.
And I think that if you can't get there, then it probably won't be very scary.
Yeah. I am more on that boat.
Yeah.
I can understand why it is why people find it frightening, but I didn't. I didn't really find it scary. Like, there were parts of it that I thought were more disturbing than others. I think kind of after that climax point when she starts becoming possessed, like...
Yeah.
That to me, that whole sequence that lasts, like, 15, 20 minutes...
Yeah.
...was the most immersive part of the movie, and everything else was kind of like, okay, well, you know, it didn't engage me as much. The part where she kills the dog, I hate. It's I hate it. And then she just drops the dead dog on the floor.
It's rough, man. Yeah.
There's the thump, and I can't handle it. I just want to go hug my dog. But, like, all of that, like, I had a much more emotional reaction to. And I think because it was so intense.
Yeah, it doesn't hold back.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And that
straight
part,
up stabs her in the leg.
Yeah. That part is so intense.
Yeah.
That I think I think if you were watching it and you thought the beginning part was boring, you know, it is a little bit slower paced for the majority of the movie. And then the color scheme, and then you know, that kind of distancing away from engaging in the film, and then all of that happens, it feels like almost two different movies.
I don't think see, I also don't find anything in it boring. I think it's so interesting to watch her and watch how she, like, interacts with the world. And it's like...
But I know that that's like a common that's a common like argument for this movie.
You find this movie boring? Like, what do you find interesting? Like, it's so interesting. Like, I don't know. It's just because it's so astute and like zeroed in on her and like watching that person. And I understand that people don't find that interesting, but I'm like, how can you not? Like, it's so... I love movies that are just like, you're just watching people be in a world. And it's like... And maybe like, it's just the kind of thing where like, if you haven't kind of felt like that and like been in that mindset, maybe you just won't get it, I guess. But I feel like the movie does a good enough job of recreating that feeling. Yeah. That, like, anyone should be able to kind of understand her and, like, understand her point of view. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. You know, maybe not. Maybe it's more of a personal thing that just hits me in a personal way.
Yeah. I feel like this is a very personal movie.
Yeah. I mean, yes and no. I think it's, like... I mean, yes, in the sense that it's just very, like, kind of focused on a specific, like, feeling and topic. I don't think that there's like, and just based off of what I've read of Jennifer Kent and like what she said about it, I don't think it's particularly autobiographical.
Well, I don't mean personal in that sense. Yeah. I mean personal related to the audience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't get the impression that it's autobiographical or anything with her. But I mean personal in the sense of how it relates to the audience.
Yeah.
I think that the impact that you get on it is very personal, or the impact that you get from it is very personal, and that kind of affects how you like it.
Right.
Because I think that I think that the theme and the way that it's structured is really interesting. Mm. But I think that how people kind of compute that can go one way or the other. So either like you have kind of more of like the like mindset of like, this is very fascinating and like interesting to delve into, or this is uncomfortable and I don't want to think about it.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah. I think a lot like it's very easy for like the initial response to stuff like this is to kind of pull away from it. Yeah. Because it's like, oh, I don't want to like think about this, or I don't want to watch a movie about a mom who hates her kid. And I think your kind of what you get out of it will be very dependent on how willing you are to kind of like dive into that. Yeah. I think that's the mark of really any great work of art. Yeah. Is like that says something about it that I mean, and even you who don't particularly like it can kind of see that that's like intentional. Yeah. That's not like poor filmmaking. No. That's just like you're either willing to kind of go there or you aren't, because it is a very like hard thing to process and like think about and grapple with. Yeah. No, yeah, like I think that you'd be crazy to say you don't understand or recognize the structure and the impact of this movie. But I think that also like maybe you're not like, maybe it's not that you're not willing to like go into that place, but you're just like it's just off-putting. Yeah. And it's like your brain just kind of automatically is like, nah. Yeah. Like I don't think it's a conscious decision. I think it's like either your brain is like, oh, okay, let's delve into this, or your brain is like, let's close off. Yeah. Yeah. I think that it's like, it's very antithetical to kind of popular horror, and like, because also, I mean, there have been like people in like who are into true crime, I'm sure, have like read stories about parents who've killed their kids, but it's very antithetical to how that's presented usually, because this really like, I think takes a very heavy emotional toll on you, and it isn't really like, I don't know. I don't think you can watch this movie and find it like fun.
No,
you know,
definitely not.
And I don't know. I think that, yeah. Oh man, I don't know. It's so good. I just love it. I think it's amazing.
Well, I think too, one of the differences is that oftentimes when you either read like true crime stories or watch movies about this or whatever, about like a child-mother relationship, it's almost always from the child's perspective.
Yeah.
And this is from the mother's perspective.
Yeah.
So I think like that perspective makes it more like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because like from the child's perspective, you know, they're not developed, they're still children, they don't quite understand everything that's happening, so things can get misconstrued, and it's just like a very like a kind of a more pure like mindset.
Yeah.
But from when you're looking at it from the parent or the mother's perspective in this case, like it's very intense.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have that kind of like, oh, well, she just doesn't understand what's happening. Like, she knows what's happening. She understands it. And, like, it's not that she's a child. She's the adult.
Right.
And she's still having those feelings.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it like, it's from her perspective, and it gets you to kind of, you know, like, at least for me, like, really relate to her and really kind of understand her as a person. And then to like, make you watch her try to kill her kid, having just spent the movie like kind of sinking into her skin, I think is a very like, that's something that's very easy to want to pull away from too.
Yeah.
Because you to not want to understand that and like not want to relate to her and like to sympathize with her because of what she does.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very. I think I think it is a very challenging movie, and I think the more I talk about it, the more I realize how challenging it is. Mm-hmm. And it makes sense because she studied under Lars von Trier, who's the Swedish filmmaker who's like probably the most inaccessible modern director out there. He like his stuff is very like either very slow paced or very violent or very like just kind of unpleasant to watch. Mm-hmm. And I think that, and she was an actor first, and then she didn't go to like film school to learn how to direct. She just went and like worked with Lars von Trier on his sets and kind of learned how to direct that way.
Yeah.
And I think that shows. I think that willingness to kind of investigate the really unpleasant, like unconscious feelings that we have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what I like about it the most, is that it's talking about something that's very like unconscious and something that I think, I think everyone has at least the potential to like, to go there. Right. I think we all have kind of a dark side and very complex unconscious feelings and thoughts that we don't even engage with or think about in ourselves because they're just so like buried in there.
Yeah.
And I think this movie feels to me like it's really like excavating all of those feelings and really like, yeah, being open to them and understanding them. And I think that I get a lot out of that. And I really, really like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that it's good.
Yeah.
But I didn't necessarily feel that when I was watching it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Like I can completely understand and agree with why it's a good movie, but I didn't feel that way when I was watching it. And not even necessarily because it made me uncomfortable. It's just that I didn't feel like engaged with it.
Yeah.
But I can understand why that happened and why it's a good movie. So I think it's a good movie.
It's just not your thing.
Just not my thing.
Yeah, which is fine. I have movies like that too, where I'm like, I recognize this is good, but I just didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
But this movie does it for me in a big way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this is a really like, especially this time watching it, I think was a really mind blowing like experience for me. Mm-hmm. And that was really good. I've watched a couple of movies recently that I felt really like that. Like, this sounds so stupid, but it like blew my mind. Like this, and then I just watched David Lean's adaptation of Great Expectations, which was made in the 40s, and that blew me away too. Man, that shit's good. This Dickens guy is pretty good, man. That's pretty much all I have to say about it.
Me too.
I would highly recommend it, and I would really recommend not pulling away from it. Like, if you're watching it and you're like, this is kind of boring, or you're watching it and you like want to look at your phone, like, don't.
Yeah.
Just fucking do it. Just engage with it. Let it grab you and feel those feelings and think those thoughts. And I think it's a very rewarding experience.
Yeah. I'd like to watch it again. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, wasn't really my thing.
Yeah.
But the second time I did like it a little bit more than the first.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if I keep watching it, if, like, that's something that, like, my brain will start, like, opening up to more.
I think it's something that you have to watch it in a different way than you watch a lot of movies.
Yes.
Because I think this one is very experiential. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's not... You can't watch it, like, in the way where you even just, like, watch a movie that you like. Like, where you're just kind of sitting there watching it. Like, you have to kind of give yourself over to this experience of watching it. And, like, I don't know. It's something else. I wish we could watch it in a theater, because I think that's really the ideal.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think this is a theater movie.
Yeah.
And I think that's partially why, because also both times I've watched it, it's been the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And, like, so I think there's just, like, a lot of other things happening. My brain can't fully commit to it.
Yeah.
And I think if I watched it in a theater, or if I watched it, like, later at night.
Yeah.
Like, I think I might be able to commit to it more. But it's a movie that you really have to commit to.
Yeah.
So...
There is no casual viewing of the Babadook.
Absolutely not.
It'll ruin it, I think.
And for me, as someone who has a short attention span, as we have discussed many a time on this podcast and just in our daily lives, I think it's hard for me to fully commit to it.
Yeah.
Because my brain really, like, can't go into it all the way, because my attention span is like, okay, I can spend 20 minutes on this, and then I was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
I need to, like, look out the window. Or something like that for a second. And so it, like, pulls you away.
Yeah.
And that's something that you can't do with this movie.
Yeah. Because I think that if you're out of it for a second, it'll, like, break the spell, too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you, like, literally glance away for, like, 3 seconds, you're taken out of it.
Right. Well, and you're taking yourself out of the movie. And there are some movies where you can do that and it's totally fine.
Yeah.
And there are some movies where if you do that, I think it'll lessen the movie for you.
And I think that this was one of those movies.
Yeah.
So I think if I watch it again, I need to watch it in a more, like, secluded environment.
Yeah. I think that it's almost more like watching going to a play.
Yeah.
Than watching a movie. Mm-hmm. It's a more similar experience to that, where, like, you're kind of, like, in it. And it's almost so much of an experience that you're almost kind of, like, participating in it more than just, like, watching in a detached way.
Yeah.
Not to be too pretentious, but I think that it's really, like, it requires more of you than an average movie.
Yeah, it does.
To really, like, get something out of it.
Yeah. And I think that's probably my main issue with it.
Yeah.
That I just have a hard time doing that with any form of, like, attention, whether it be, like, movies and TV or books or whatever I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, I just have a hard time giving all that attention to that one specific thing.
Yeah.
And I think that if you also have that issue, this is going to be a hard movie for you to watch.
Yeah. I mean, look, if that's just not your thing, then that's fine. I don't like it if this is, like, my thing.
Yeah.
So I really care about this. But I totally recognize that it's perfectly valid for people to just want to watch, like, Independence Day or some shit, you know? And just, like, movies function in a lot of different ways for different people.
Yeah.
So if you're just worn out from your life and you just want to, like, turn on the Great British Baking Show,
Oh, yes.
then, like, don't watch this movie. It's just not for you.
Yeah.
This is a taxing, emotionally investing movie. Mm-hmm. And I think you have to, like, be prepared for that, and you have to want to have that experience. And I think a lot of horror movies are kind of like that, where it's like you won't find it scary unless you let yourself find it scary. Mm-hmm. And that's the same thing for this, but just in an emotional way.
Yeah.
It's like it won't do anything for you unless you let it do something for you. Mm-hmm. I think it's wonderful, and I would I want everyone to watch movies like this.
Yeah. And
like think about things like this.
Yeah.
I think this is what, at least for me, this is what movies are for. They're as much a, like, kind of investigation of people and society and all that stuff as they are just, like, pretty pictures to look at.
Yeah.
You know, I think that this is, like, what I want more things to be like. Mm-hmm. To really, like, challenge me and affect me and make me think.
Yeah.
Okay. That was The Babadook.
The Babadook Duke. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's a little bit of a shorter episode this week, which I'm fine with.
Yeah. Listen, we've had some long episodes recently.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So we'll probably do a Child's Play review next week. Mm-hmm. And we'll see. We'll go from there. Thank you for listening. Woohoo! This was episode 17.
That's crazy.
We're getting close to 25. We're getting there slowly, which I feel like that's a milestone.
That is, I think so too.
Yeah. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep listening to the show. Share
Wherever
it with your friends. Follow us on social media if you feel so inclined.
Yes, please.
Most importantly, just listen and share. That's really the most helpful thing that you can do. You can rate us on iTunes. Mm-hmm. That's a big help to us.
Yeah.
And just help spread the word. If you like horror movies or you know people who like horror movies, let them know about us. Because that's our thing. Is talking about horror movies. So, yeah. I'm thinking about maybe doing a newsletter, you know?
Oh,
weekly.
Cute.
Other things do that.
Yeah.
It's a way to engage with your audience.
You gotta send us emails.
Yeah, so I'll put something out. I'll get people to sign up for it somehow. I don't know how. But, yeah. I'll figure it out. Okay. That's all I got.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.